different on him just yet. No, we're hopefully gonna start progressing back to swings soon, but no real update there just yet.
What do you mean back to swings?
Well, we've taken a period of no swings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you hope to see out of Steven today?
Be good to see him back out there. We've obviously seen him several times on the backfields for his lives. His stuff has looked really good. Fastball velo, movement, everything has looked awesome. So to get him in a game for an inning, and then we'll see him again, I believe, depending on how this goes on Saturday for 2 innings.
And obviously, there's, depends on what happened, but would he likely throw more after that inning just because he'd thrown more in live? Or was it just okay?
No, he'll get 1 there, and then we'll get 2 on Saturday, and then progress from there.
You came out, the sun came out hard. How do you look at who plays second base on a daily basis?
We've been alternating between Gorman and Donovan, and then looking at certain road trips for Gorman and Donovan as far as when we go down 15 minutes on the road compared to Port St. Lucie, and but right now just alternating back and forth.
How do you think that might play out this season with both those guys, especially you add Crawford, now there's some clarity there on that side of the infield. How do you think that might play out for those?
Yeah, as we get closer, we'll start to communicate our thoughts on what playing time will look like for Gorman and Donnie at second.
Is it important to... You're probably not going to answer any of these questions.
Correct, yes.
Okay. All right, cool. How valuable for a guy is it to not just be rooted as DH?
Yeah, especially when you're young in your career, you want to be able to remain at a position, and Gorman does a nice job at second. So gives them the flexibility to do both.
Where's he made some... I mean, he went to that position, and his arm strength was a real difference maker for him, whereas he kind of made other strides.
Continuing to work on his exchange. He makes up for some of it with his arm. He finishes a double play with the best of them. I mean, he does a really nice job there. His footwork around the bag is good. He's working on continuing to be able to cover from a range standpoint, side to side. I know early on, one of the things that he was really working on is just coming in on balls, like the choppers, being able to be comfortable with that. So his work has been good, and he's making progress.
Was that the reason for the cheer the other day? Was he came in, he made the choice on the backhand? Maybe you didn't see it. All right, there was like a huge cheer for, but maybe not. Maybe it's just Cardinals being Cardinals.
Yeah.
When you talk about range, how much of that is anticipation, and then is that just repetition?
Combination of all of it. I mean, there's not just one, like, anticipation is the answer to it. First step, being able to actually, like, get off the ball is a big part of it as well. Yeah.
Consider both those guys still in play as third base when you give Nato a day too, or?
Yeah, they've shown the ability to do that.
When it comes to Matz, he had that run before he got injured last year. What's the confidence level that he can recreate some version of that for a full season?
Our hope is, I mean, we're optimistic about him being able to do that and repeat it. He's shown the ability to do that for several weeks when he came back into the rotation and then got hurt. And what we've seen up to this point on the backfields has been pretty good. So it'll be exciting to see him out there for an inning and then build from there, but we feel like he has the ability to do that. Yeah.
How is Sonny Gray with his teammates, especially the young pitchers?
Really good. He does a really nice job with them. He's very vocal and intentional with his time as far as spending time with those guys and being an open book and allowing them to ask questions. And even if they don't ask questions, if he sees something, just inserting himself and giving his opinion, but he does it in a really tactical way where it's received well. So he's done a nice job with that.
How many pitches for Gray today?
3 innings, yeah.
I was going to ask, how have you seen sort of the adjustments that Mason's tried to make at the plate come along? Like, obviously there was a short period last year, but it sounded like he went into the offseason feeling like there were some certain things that he wanted to sort of clean up and address coming into the season.
Not as much movement, like just seeing the field before just getting in the box, using the bunt from time to time, being under control as far as when to take his shots. And it's been fine. I think we're going to continue to see him make strides in the right direction. We want to make sure that his main focus at the moment is just playing good defense, and he's done a good job of that. Yeah. Good? All right.
Process that news. Obviously, it could have been worse, but sounds like it's overall since it's pretty good news.
Yeah, it's our first test, and it's part of the game. Unfortunate. This is a guy that prepares extremely well for all situations, and it happens. But he's optimistic about it. We're optimistic about it, and we'll keep moving forward.
Most said it would be, quote, challenging for him to make his opening day start. How does that start your wheels turning as far as looking ahead?
Yeah, it's tough to say after the first 24 hours kind of how his hammy's going to respond. So we'll give it a little bit of time. He's optimistic about it, and this is a guy that takes care of himself extremely well. So we'll give it several days and then start to think through it a little bit.
Is at this point you feel like the key might be just like how much of a pause he has to take, which obviously you don't know at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it happened less than 24 hours ago, so we understand it's mild, which is a good thing. It could have been a lot worse, but we'll have a better sense here over the next couple of days how he's responding to everything.
He didn't think it was as bad as the one he had a couple years ago.
Correct. Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
How would you describe Sonny's attitude with this, with his spirits?
He cares. I mean, he cares. He was sitting on the bench, and you can just tell he feels like he's going through every scenario in his head of his routine and everything leading up to it. And he's just, I mean, this is a guy that's very meticulous about every single thing leading into that start. And sometimes baseball just happens.
You have 4 veteran starters behind him. I know Miles started for you last year. I mean, does that comfort you that you have guys who've been in this position before?
Yeah, and when you think of opening day, it's a matter of having somebody that's not going to scare. There's a lot going on opening day. The festivity. I mean, it's different than any other start, and we have guys that'll handle that just fine. But we'll see how Sonny's responding over the next several days to weeks, and we'll go from there.
When you talk about having some optimism, is there anything in particular so that gives you that, like about what you've been told, what you heard?
Yeah, the fact that it's mild. That part of it could have been a lot worse, and thankfully he stopped when he did and didn't try to pitch through it or make another pitch or so that part of it.
Well, you've told us repeatedly baseball happens. You guys have been getting a 6th starter ready between Libby and Zach. Does this shine maybe a little more light on them that they're going to need to be ready to pitch early in the season?
They're mentally and physically prepping for any and every situation, and it's part of the role that they're in. So,
Does this make it more likely that you'll go to perhaps a 6-man rotation in the first couple of weeks there?
we're going to see how Sonny responds over the next couple of days to weeks, and then we'll have a better plan for that. Yeah.
How does that change your immediate pitching plans here just in these next few spring training games?
It doesn't. Yeah, we'll stay on rotation with everything that we had, and then we'll fill in the gap where he's supposed to throw his next one. But outside of that, not a whole lot.
At this point, do you know who's filling in that gap?
No, we'll start to talk through that here this morning.
We all know the importance that Sonny has. Is it challenging to not be deflated by this?
No, it happens. This is a guy he's a competitor. We have a ton of competitors in that clubhouse, and this is our first test. It's unfortunate, but the guys they're going to respond the way they need to respond. So yeah, this is a guy that's a leader in the way he goes about his business, and he's a vocal leader. And he's going to continue to do those things as he prepares to pitch for us again. Thankfully, it's mild, and it's not something that's going to sideline him for a couple months. So that's a good thing.
You deliberately brought Lance along slowly. Is he still scheduled to make his start on Friday?
Yeah, he'll make his start on Friday.
Yeah, where is he right now?
He's in a good place. He threw 3 innings back there his last time out, and he's feeling good about where he's at. So he'll see the stadium on Friday.
So you set to throw 3 in the stadium, or is it 2?
3.
Just double check. And will he go to 2 the next time out?
He'll go 2 next time out, and that'll be Saturday. Yeah.
Start. He'll start that day.
He'll start that game. That's correct. Yeah.
Good deal.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got it.